Meeting of the Mayor and City Council of Laurel, Maryland to order. Agenda item number 2, the Pledge of Allegiance. Mayor Sydnor, will you please lead us?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Johnson.
Here.
Councilman Mills.
Here.
Councilwoman Clerk.
Here.
President Kole.
Here.
Mayor Sydnor.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. Agenda item number 4 is the report of the Mayor and City Council. We'll start with Ms. Johnson this evening.
Thank you. Good evening, Council President, Council members, Mayor, directors, and staff, and city citizens. I just want to share briefly my report. Since our last meeting on Wednesday, May 29th, I attended the resident meeting on Compton Alley with Director Tim Miller. We had a chance to meet the residents and see what kind of work was going to be done with the alley. And I hope they were able to get the signatures to get that project completed. It'll be nice to see when that is done. Friday, May 31st, attended here at the Pride Flag Ceremony. Sunday, June 2nd, attended the Laurel Historical Society Gala, the Speakeasy Soiree. It was really good to see everybody dressed up in their 20s outfit to support a worthy cause. Thursday, June the 6th, I attended the service appreciation for former Councilman Mike Les and his wife, Mary Eileen, where we were on the quill lot. It was nice to be able to dedicate that space to them. Saturday, June the 8th, I attended the Laurel PD Summer Block Party at the Town Center, which was very fun, exciting, and the weather was beautiful. And also on Saturday, June the 8th, on behalf of the Mayor and City Council, I attended the Eagle Scouts recognition of John Paul Socrates Wassel of Troop 1250 of St. Mary of the Mills. Just great to be able to celebrate his accomplishments. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Mills?
Mr. President, I have no report this time.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Clerk?
Thank you, Mr. President. For my report since our last meeting on May 28th, as the chair of the Environmental Affairs Committee, I want to announce that the committee recently voted in a new vice chair, Jimmy Rogers, on May 29th during our official meeting. So congratulations to Jimmy. In addition, on May 30th, I had the pleasure of speaking at our Dwight D. Eisenhower Middle School during their career day. It was a great opportunity to speak with and inspire the youth in our community by sharing my personal story and my political career journey and experience. I also attended the Laurel Pride flag raising ceremony. That evening, I also participated in the Juneteenth Celebration Committee meeting as we plan for the City of Laurel's event of the summer. Remember to join the committee on Wednesday, June 19th at noon for the Juneteenth flag raising here at the Municipal Center. And on Saturday, June 22nd, remember it's a family affair, so bring your friends, neighbors, and your family to the City of Laurel's Juneteenth celebration at Granville Goody Park from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. The next week, I stopped by to thank the Honorable Mike Les during his surprise honoring for his service at our City of Laurel Farmers Market. I had the pleasure of being a resident on the Environmental Affairs Committee during the pandemic with him, and he is a true gem in our community. Thank you, Mike, for all that you have done to contribute to the success of the City of Laurel. For anyone who missed the Laurel Police Department Summer Block Party at the Town Center this weekend, it was a great time. Thanks to the Laurel Shopping Center, Officer Jackson for this amazing community event and idea, and the entire Laurel Police Department for always interacting in various ways with our community members, especially our youth. P.S. The Kiwanis Ice Sherry was my absolute favorite. A few things for you to know and remember. Your city representatives will be learning even more at the upcoming MML conference in a few weeks. Every Thursday, stop by the City of Laurel's Farmers Market at 378 Main Street in the Kole lot from 3 to 7 p.m. for tasty local treats and music. And join the Laurel Police Casting with the Cops on Saturday, June 29th at Laurel Lake from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. for an opportunity to show off your fishing skills. Mr. President and members, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. For my report, I was also at the flag raising here at City Hall on the 31st of May. Later that evening, I was at the kickoff to Pride Month fundraiser at Oliver's on Main Street. Congratulations to Diane Mezzanotte for her winning design for the new Pride Committee logo. On Saturday, June 1st, I attended the Ride for the Fallen poker run. After the poker run was over, I was there to greet people as they came back. Also on June 2nd, I attended the Historical Society Gala. That was one of their largest fundraisers of the year. On June 4th, we had the Pride fundraiser at Olive on Main. On June 6th, I also attended the Quill Lot dedication. It's an important reminder that Mike Les was instrumental in getting that lot for the city, knowing that there was a 36-inch sewer line under there that could not be built above. So that is now permanent green space for the city. Also on the 6th was a sustainability open house. I was here to talk with residents and answer some questions about composting at home. On June 7th, I attended the Parks and Recreation bike decorating and parade over at the Laurel Armory. Saturday the 8th, I was at Big City Body Art for their open house, also at the Police Department block party, and attended the Fidos for Freedom service dog graduation. They graduated 6 service dogs and 10 therapy dogs. Yesterday, June 9th, I attended the St. Mark's United Methodist Church annual Men's Day service to present the mayor's proclamation to Reverend Matthews, congratulating him on his imminent retirement. Coming up tomorrow at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers, there will be a planning commission meeting. On Thursday, June 13th, there will be a Pride fundraiser at Gigi's Ice Cream. That goes all day, so stop by and get some ice cream in the hot weather. Next Tuesday, June 18th, the Historic District Commission will meet at 6 p.m. virtually. That concludes my report. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. I want to pay condolence to our Director of Communication and passing her father, Ms. Natalie Williams. Her father passed away. Also want to pay condolence to the friends of Mr. Paul Kirkpatrick. Mr. Kirkpatrick was a cable TV volunteer and a Laurel Volunteer Firefighting Department member as well. On May 31st, we had the grand opening of a Sky Vibe restaurant on Main Street. So if you get an opportunity, please go visit Sky Vibe restaurant. June 1st, the 629 Expeditionary Military Intelligence Battalion, stationed at the Reserve Battalion. They had their family day every year, and they had it at the Laurel Lake School Park. It's important that family members, military members, I serve in the military, as you know, but family members are very important in supporting the troops when they get deployed because they got to take care of the family, the kids, everything. So it was Appreciation Day for the family members so they can see what the soldiers do when they're at work and things of that nature. So that's always support that. And it's open to the public as well. So if you get a chance next year, they want you to come out there as well. There's an award ceremony at the same time. You can thank those service members for their duty. They're reservists. They work full-time jobs in the community every day like us. But when the president called them to go to active duty or any type of national emergency, they had to redeploy. So it's good to see them out there getting recognized. Also, like everyone else said, on June the 2nd, we attend the Laurel Historical Gala. Very special event, so I want to continue to support that and all the wonderful work they do preserving the history of the city of Laurel. June the 6th, I attended BGE, had a special Energized Business Growth Summit, and it's important because the summit opened up on June the 6th, and it closed on July the 12th. I'm going to get those exact dates. I think we might put some on our social media page. But if a small business under 25 employees and you make under $7 million a year, that you can get $20,000 from BGE. So if you're an organization, a profit organization, small business, once again, 25 employees or less, making under $7 million a year, BGE would give you a grant for $20,000. It's not a matching grant. You go online and fill it out. So I encourage all small business side of the city of Laurel to meet that eligibility. Please apply for that grant for BGE. Also on June the 6th afternoon, we also attend the farmers market. Councilman Lass, I said that at the Quill Lock that when I first came on the council in 2017, one of our first events was the Protection Green community. And I was looking like a deer in the headlight. And Councilman Lass basically say, you need any help, anything, just come to his house. So I went to Councilman Lass' house and we talked about a lot of things. And it's almost like a mentor and educate me on a lot of things on the council. So I really appreciate Councilman Lass. I'm glad that we was out there to support him. And then I came back here that same evening, Sustainability Focus Group. Want to thank Ms. Blair, our Sustainability Officer, Environment Officer, to putting this together. We all know how important the environment is, and so we want to also do the things on our part to keep our environment safe. And we also got a report that paper bags is not being used because people are using reusable bags. So that's a great thing. So continue to bring your bags to the store, and that way you don't have to buy any paper bags, and and save our environment. So that's a great thing. A couple of announcements. Tomorrow, June 11th, we have an interest group for the Safe Summer Night. The whole purpose of Safe Summer Night, we know that between 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. during the summer break, juveniles tend to get in trouble. So we wanted to provide a safe place for our juveniles to come into, and we also want to provide some educational information for them as well. Between 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. during the summer, we're going to be having our gyms will be open several nights for our kids to come in with their parents' permission, of course. But tomorrow is going to be a focus group. We want to get organizations who's interested in leading a group each night. Come out there to 422 Montgomery Street at 6 p.m. We're going to have the interest group, and now you can let us know which night you want to do, how many kids you think you can take care of that night, but we can coordinate all that. Also, June the 19th, as mentioned, it's a federal holiday. Office will be closed. All city offices will be closed. And someone mentioned this already. June the 19th, also, we'll be flying the Juneteenth flag above City Hall. We got a special, not above City Hall, we got a special event pole that we'll be flying the Juneteenth flag. I think that's very important, the history of African-American history in this country. And now we get to fly a Juneteenth flag at a city building. So please come out at 12 o'clock at noon to witness that ceremony. It's only about 15 minutes. On June 22nd, they mentioned this already before, that they're going to have the Juneteenth Festival in Laurel Goody Park. I will not be there that day. Actually going to travel to Montgomery, Alabama, to the Civil Rights Museum and Human Rights Museum. So get a taste of that deep South history there. I'm a history guy, so I want to go there and explore that as well. Also, July the 4th, office will be closed as well. And July the 6th is our annual 4th of July parade. So please, if you want to be in our parade, I think everything's on our social media page and stuff, how to sign up and join our parades. I got some proclamations, Mr. President. I'm going to go down and read these proclamations, and I'll be finished my report. Thank you. Okay. So I always like to get a little history about this Juneteenth celebration. Back in 2019, I did the first proclamation that the city ever had to recognize Juneteenth. Juneteenth started, but the first state to have it was in Texas in 1980, and then several states picked it up. And so when I came on the city council, I just wanted to bring in some history lessons and things of that nature, because I think the more we learn about our history, the more we can grow as a country and become better citizens, better human beings. And so the first proclamation was done in 19, and then in 2020, we had our 150th anniversary, and we was gonna go around to all the different events and stuff like that. And so Councilman Clark, she wasn't the councilman at the time. We went to St. Mark's Church, and we had a little Juneteenth ceremony, like 10 people can be in there. So Councilman Clark was a part of that program, and now she's a council member, and she's on the Juneteenth committee. So we want to recognize that, Juneteenth proclamation here, and I want to give it to you for you can, put in your many awards that you have. So once again, on June 19th, we'll be flying the flag, raising the Juneteenth flag. So if you are not busy at 12 o'clock, please come down. So I recognize you. I'm Director Bailey, Park and Recs. He's not, okay. The original Park and Recs, gonna come and get it. I say Proclamation 2024-33. Whereas Park and Recreation is an integral part of community and throughout this country, including the city of Laurel. Park and Recreation promote health and wellness and improving physical and mental health of people who live near the parks. So on July is Park and Recreation Month, so please visit our parks. We got, how many parks we have? 18? 19. We got 19 parks here in the city of Laurel. A lot of green space, I keep saying, so you can put clean green space. So we're gonna recognize July as Park and Recreation Month. So Deputy City Administrator Barr. Okay. And this is the last one here. Proclamation 2024-32. Whereas the medical condition known as HIV and AIDS still is prominent and a national concern with 50,000 new infections each year. In the United States alone, 1,000 youth are diagnosed monthly with HIV, whereas 1 in 7 individuals are unaware they are affected by HIV. So every 10 to 5 minutes, someone is diagnosed with HIV. So June 27th is National HIV Awareness Month. So June 27th, even though I know you're probably safe, but just go out and get tested anyway, just to make sure, especially if you have multiple partners and things of that nature. So we want to promote a safe environment. So please get tested HIV. So June 27th is National HIV Day. And I hold this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
Agenda item number 5 is general public hearing. We will open the general public hearing at 6:15 PM. We do have speakers signed up to speak. As a reminder, please state your name and address for the record. I will then start the timer. We will go with 2 minutes for this evening. Our first speaker of the evening is Mr. John Barry.
Okay, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm John Barry from UFCW 1994. We have before us today to consider the CBA for the United Agreement between United Food and Commercial Workers 1994 and the City of Laurel, Maryland. Before we get to this point, we want to make sure we know what it is and what it isn't. 2 weeks after we submitted financial proposals, the city refused to negotiate any financial agreements with the union. They never moved, and they made it clear that they would never negotiate with us on that. The mayor and the council, instead of offering any sort of mediation, rejected the DPW workers' financial demands through an impasse. This was a closed session on April 1st. I think this was basically the council that was there. But I'm saying this because I want to set the record straight. What we have now, and what we're looking forward to in the future, working with you on, is a contract. Members voted on it, and they chose us to represent them, and we take that very seriously. We're going to be making every effort to make sure that they know that they have a union that represents them. We will represent them in grievances. We will make sure they have the opportunity to sit across from management to solve issues. Safe working conditions will be a central issue this summer, especially given the record-breaking heat that we're all going to be experiencing. The city will provide all workers with updated rules and policies. We're going to demand reasonable access to the workplace as a union. I think in the past, they've been told that we don't represent them. That was not true, but we will represent them, and there will be no mistake about it now. Employees who have grievances will have the option of mediation, and the leaders of the union, its representatives, its stewards, will be working without any fear of retaliation. The leaders of the union, its representatives, and the union will continue to work on market studies to make sure pay is equitable. And until the current code enables a meaningful bargaining process, we will come up to the council with our concerns as often as possible. But I think we can also, you're already cutting me down. Let me, these
Are you almost
elements,
done?
just a couple minutes.
All right.
Okay, there are elements that aren't strictly included in the contract that we're still looking for. Financial elements, which the city and the council did not accept, but we still believe these people have the right to a better living and to a livable wage. And we're going to keep working that. These include the rights to negotiate pay, and we've got to work together on figuring out how to do that, because I don't want it to end the same way it ended this time. They include serious changes in the city's retirement plans. A lot of people came up to us and asked about that. We obviously haven't done that in this contract, but we're going to keep pushing for them. We will be watching the health benefits. People have asked why their health benefits are changing, and we're going to work on them with that. In the end, this is going to be a working relationship. We're going to follow the contract, and we're going to expect you to follow the contract. This is just the beginning, and we will work hard to make sure it's a real beginning.
Thank you, Mr. Barry. That was 3 minutes. Our next speaker of the evening is Mr. Gino Renee.
I signed them up. You might be able
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, council members, I came over tonight to sign off on the collective bargaining agreement. I just want to congratulate the city and members of the employees of DPW for their first labor agreement. We look forward to many more, and we hope they're not as adversarial in the future. Negotiations were a little testy. For Unit 25, it amazed me that there was so much resistance to bargain in good faith. That's my professional opinion, having done this for 40-some years. We're looking forward to a good partnership with this city administration, but the nature of that relationship is totally up to all of you. We're willing to put in the commitment, the time, and the energy and the resources to build a good relationship, not just for the DPW workers, but for the citizens that they serve. Thank you very much. Whenever you're ready for me to sign, I'm here.
Thank you, Gino. Our next speaker of the evening is Miss Georgina Eiffel.
I have, let me start, President.
There you go.
I have written my statement as well as any supporting documentation. I believe I was told if I bring that, I can submit that to the clerk to be part of the official record.
Correct.
Okay. And I have timed myself. I'm going to be about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I do believe.
Okay.
I'm
I will
try
let you
to
go
talk
for
too
2
fast.
minutes, 30 seconds.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council of Laurel. My name is Georgina Eiffel, and I have resided at 8231 North Lake Court in Laurel for the past 21 years. On May 13th, 2024, I came before this body and questioned how budget expenditure account 10-5-21-52011, which is legal services, amount budgeted for 2023 through 2024 had changed from $303,300 to $296,570. It was a difference of $6,730. Shortly thereafter, I received a letter from Ms. Kole dated May 16th, 2024, indicating that the $288,300 is used, and this is quoted, is used for legal review for all code updates and amendments, contract reviews, personnel-related issues, zoning requirements, reviews of pertaining to federal/state and county mandates, if applicable, and any other issue regarding legal counsel. The next quote is, "The funds were transferred out of legal services for additional membership dues with Metropolitan Washington Council of Government and African American Mayors Association, as well as new promotional items for events and outreach of the mayor's office. No budget amendment is required for a transfer within a department budget." Well, since then, I have looked at every budget starting from 2019 through 2020. And in particular, and I looked at that particular account, which is legal services. Except for the 2019 through the 2020 plan, we have budgeted and approved each time $288,300 for legal services, legislation, and legal review debit item. To date, the difference between what was budgeted and the total activity has ranged anywhere from $17,327.08 to $110,000. The total budgeted amount for legislation and legal review for the 2022 through 2023 period changed from $288,300 to $213,000. There was a $75,000 difference. So I am going to assume, I do know that when municipal budgets, you can any unspent funds can be moved and reallocated to the agency. However, it is difficult when reading these financial reports to find how this money was reallocated or moved to different budget categories.
Thank you, Ms.
And what
Highfield.
was stated, and two more statements I just want to make. And what was stated.
15 seconds.
I found $652 that shows a line item said that was a transfer out of legal services for the Maryland Capital. That's the only time I see an adjustment. But again, I'm curious as to the $75,000, and
Thank you.
I will submit.
If you can give those to Ms.
And I look forward to
Green.
hearing the response from you.
Thank you, Ms. Ifill.
Thank you.
Our next speaker this evening is Mr. Adrian Russo.
Good evening. Adrian Russo, 1001 5th Street, Laurel, Maryland, 20707. I'm just here to reiterate, I'm still waiting to meet with you guys about our Boys and Girls Club that we was told at the last meeting we'd hear from you all to discuss some issues, and we're still waiting. I don't need any time. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Russo. Our next speaker this evening is Mr. Martin Mitchell.
Hello, greetings, everyone. Of course, I still stand with DPW, as a lot of people said, but, I'll wait till agenda item 6, because this is still 5. The fight for rent stabilization in the county started right here in Laurel at 332 11th Street, when about half a dozen seniors were going to have their lives upended overnight by a new landlord. This landlord wanted them to pay $1,300 more a month by signing the new lease. If they didn't want to sign the lease, they were given 30 days, and after negotiations began, they were given 60 days. We came to a memorandum of understanding between the landlords, tenants, the city, and CASA. One of the things that 11th Street made us wonder is where else in the city is this diabolical behavior happening to residents? We found several places during our time on the ground where abnormally high increases were taking place. I'll bet there were lower ones, but the landlord at 332, who owns several other properties, was one of the highest, and generally the highest across what we had seen in the county. Other than what we had seen in the county. The Prince Georgian Housing Justice Coalition, formerly the Laurel Housing Justice Coalition, attended the bill introduction, CB 55, last week, which was basically an introduction of the permanent rent stabilization bill. There was a couple things we want to point out because as a coalition, we noticed that it presents outrageous fees. It also does not protect renters with just cause or vacancy control, and it will allow higher allowable rent increases more than the 3% max now. People will ask, is this still necessary? Just this past weekend, I got a call from a resident who lives on Main Street, and one of those properties, by the same landlord who I was mentioning, and he was proposing a rent increase of, I believe it was $700 for a new yearly lease, and for the month by month it was $1,000 increase. And so of course that's still not acceptable, because until October 17th of 2024, the 3% is still in place. Of course, right now they're trying to come up with a permanent bill, and that's why they had the work group, and I was participating in the work group, and so it's definitely still necessary. And I just wanted to remind people that tomorrow is the bill hearing for the bill at 12 p.m. 1301 McCormick Place, the Wayne Curry Administration Building. And I also wanted to remind people that next Saturday at 10 to 1, the Laurel Branch Library, I'm hosting with many community partners a free Juneteenth expungement clinic and Know Your Rights clinic. We have attorneys on site. You can register in advance or just walk in. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Next this evening, we have Mr. Levitt Brown.
I'll just hold it. Good evening, everyone. I've been a resident of Laurel for over 27 years. My address is 71140 Sandy Spring Road. Today I am here just to report facts about the Laurel Boys and Girls Club, but I tell you, just sitting here and hearing the things that are going on in the city, it's just crazy. You know, you hear the thing with the people that come and pick up our trash every day. I actually had a personal encounter with one of them, with the gentleman that died. His last delivery pickup was actually at my house. I'm a firefighter EMT. I was the first one on the scene to see that, and I tell you, it's something that I wouldn't want anybody to see. So I hope you guys are really working with them. That job is definitely unsafe, what they do, and I believe you should work it all possible to get those people what they want. At the last meeting, at halftime, you went and got a resolution on the Laurel Boys and Girls Club with McCullough Field. But I could tell you, this McCullough Field issue is going to come back and bite us big time. The ink on that paper is not worth anything. I've always said that I do understand the city's point in trying to get that field from them, but it was the way that they actually took that field from those kids. I don't think there's 12 jurors in this county that are going to side with you on that. You say that you're a history buff. Today I brought you the timeline of the club's relationship with the city of Laurel government since 1965. What you're going to find out is that the club was actually in that building when it was transferred to them. The city had the opportunity to get that building. They decided not to. They decided to give a building that was in total disrepair, near condemnable conditions to those kids, not knowing that when they gave the building up, they also gave the field up because they always transferred together. When I spoke to Central Services from the county, she mentioned to me that the building belongs to the Boys and Girls Club. It's a county Boys and Girls Club, and that she laughed because she said that the city was the ones indeed made the mistake, and she said it was karma for them. And I believe that because what they were willing to do was willing to give the kids a building that was in near condemnable conditions and not fix it up for them. But in the end, how did they expect them to fix it? So today I'm bringing you the council bill. I'm bringing you a timeline, and in that council bill, that's the information that I received from the county, and you will see that the field definitely belonged to the Boys and Girls Club, and it is my opinion, and the residents where I'm from, that the city actually extorted that field from those kids. You see in that resolution where it clearly says that if they didn't agree.
Mr. Brown, are you almost done?
Yes, sir, I am.
Thank you.
I would think you'd give me a couple more minutes when we're discussing children, if that's okay with you. Okay, and you are my representative. Okay, so just give me a couple more minutes.
We're trying to be fair to everyone.
Okay, just give me a couple more minutes.
Welcome time to meet with you, but your time limit is up.
Okay, my time's up. Thank you. Who do I
Thank you,
give
sir.
this to?
Please give them to our clerk. Our next speaker this evening is Mr. Wilbert Nicholson.
Good evening. I'm here on behalf of the Laurel Boys and Girls Club too, but not only that. When you talk about Juneteenth and its history and what it's about, I'm 70 years old. I've been in this town 70 years, okay? I remember when the Klans threatened to march down 8th Street back in the late 60s, early 70s. I remember when the house was burned right across from St. Mark's Church by supposedly Ku Klux Klan. The field where the library is, between the county and the city, they took that from us. That was the only place that black people could go back then to play sports. It was a 3-room school there for blacks only. White people didn't go to that school. And I'm not coming being racist or biased or anything, but I'm coming because they've taken everything from us, okay? When they took that park there, we had nowhere to go. So a lot of us started going up to where the gazebo is up at, in the field, which my family members owned that land before they sold it to the city. They started charging the people to go up there. So it's nowhere for us to go. My oldest brother graduated from Fairmont Heights High School. He lived right on the corner where the tennis court is, in that greenhouse where Miss Pearl Matthews lived. My brother had to be bused all the way to Fairmont Heights High School because blacks wasn't allowed to go to Laurel High School, the one right at 701 Montgomery Street. And now, it's just ongoing. They constantly try to strong arm us and push us out. We got one of the biggest programs at Law Boys and Girls Club in this whole entire area. You understand? And we fight hard to try to keep that place up. When they gave it to us, it was a dump. I mean, that's why the city didn't want it. Now it's on the National Historic List because it's the first high school in Prince George's County. Everybody's running trying to get it. The mayor himself, before he became mayor, told me, this place is too big for y'all. You ought to let me have it. Well, they've done everything to try to take it from us. We get all these code violations, one after another. These kids can't afford to fix this, fix that, A, B, C, D, E. A lot of them we waive because they can't even afford to pay the dues to come to the club. 1964, I was 10 years old. A janitor, when Laurel was open then, signed me up to play basketball. I was the first Afro-American to play basketball, to my knowledge, for the Law Boys and Girls Club. But it's time to stop this. We as a people need to come together and work with these kids. You see them out there on drugs, getting shot up, getting killed. You don't hear that at our club. We're trying to do something positive. But what happens is a new administration comes in, and the former administration pours in their mind from the get-go. Don't mess with the Laurel Boys and Girls Club. And the bad history about the Laurel Boys and Girls Club go back to when they was running the casinos. We weren't even allowed to go in there. Not at all. You understand? It was off limits. All
Thank
I'm
you,
saying
Mr. Brown.
is to the council and the new people that's coming in, hey, man, take in consideration and come together and work with us.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
That's it.
Listen. Is there anyone else that would wish to speak for general public hearing? No one else on the list for this agenda item? No one? I will close the general public hearing at 6. Agenda item number 6, introduction and first public, or second, no, this is introduction and first public hearing on resolution number 3-2024, a resolution of the mayor and city council of Laurel, Maryland, for the purpose of approving an agreement between the city of Laurel and the United Food and Commercial Workers Local 1994. City Administrator Pulley?
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. President, Mayor, and members of the council. Before you tonight is resolution number 3-2024, resolution to a 3-year agreement between the city of Laurel and the United Food and Commercial Workers Local 1994. The city was represented by Jackson Lewis PC, Mr. John Berry, and Mr. John Kilker of UFCW represented employees of the bargaining unit. A notice of demand by the union to commence negotiations for the city's first agreement between parties received on November 13, 2023. There was a total of 7 in-person bargaining sessions held between the parties, held on December 14, 2023, on January 11th, 18th, and 25th of this year, and on February 1st, 18th, and 15th as well. The parties agreed on all non-economic language to be included in the first CBA on February 1st, 2024. However, additional bargaining sessions were held to try and agree on economic proposals. However, the parties were not able to come to an agreement, therefore, impasse was declared. An impasse hearing was held by the mayor and city council on April 1st to hear presentations on disputed economic proposals by the parties and decide if they would find in favor of the employer at a 5% total wage increase of the union's proposed 9.5 total wage increase. The city council voted to approve the employer's proposal of a 5% total wage increase. The mayor concurred with the decision. Some of the other benefits are that the agreed within the bargaining unit include temporary assignment to crew leader additional pay, on-call additional pay, call-in additional pay, additional uniforms for staff. Union stewards will be granted 8 hours of administrative leave for steward trainings conducted by the union, establishment of a labor management relations committee, which will meet once per quarter. Also, I just would like to include that the city offers 12 paid holidays, 12 sick days, 26 hours of personal leave, annual leave based on years of service with a minimum of 2 weeks and a maximum of 5 weeks for all city employees. Also, the city pays 80% of an employee's health insurance where employees are responsible for the remaining 20%. On April 18, 2024, the union held its ratification meeting, and 18 employees of the bargaining unit was present and all voted to accept the agreement. The terms and conditions shall be contained in an agreement from July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2027. I would like to thank employees of the bargaining unit, Mr. Berry, Mr. Kilker, our attorneys, staff who represented the bargaining team during negotiations for their time and commitment to this matter. The administration and DPW's management team is ready to have a wonderful working relationship with UCFW and employees of the bargaining unit and adhere to all articles within the same. I hope the union feels the same way. And finally, I am glad to report that over the course of the year, there have been 9 promotions within the Department of DPW. This concludes my presentation, Mr. President. I respectfully ask that the council pass Resolution 3-2024. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pulley. I will open the general public hearing on Resolution 3-2024 at 6:41 PM. We have several speakers signed up to speak on this issue. Our first speaker this evening is Ms. Georgina Eiffel. We don't grant time. We are not Congress.
No, but what I have an issue with is this is a topic that I am passionate about, and I know that you're going to set that timer for 2 minutes, but what I have noticed is last week, the judge was the last hearing, public meeting we had here, the judge was very passionate about the topic in which he was addressing. And the judge actually spoke for 5 to 6 minutes. I was grateful that evening he was the first speaker because of the fact that he went 3 times over the limit. We then were afforded more time. But what I'm seeing here this evening is, as these gentlemen are passionate about what's going on and these young kids, they are being basically shut down after 2.5 minutes. So I don't know why some people can come here and address this council and the mayor for over 6 minutes about something they're passionate about. And you at one point even asked the judge, was he finished? He did not even acknowledge you. He just continued to read from his 3 stated pages. So right now I know my response is going to be over 3 minutes. So I don't know if that means that someone else has to give me their time or you will just let me speak for the 4 to 5 minutes that I would like to, and grant me the same grace that the judge was granted the last time he was here in this meeting. You all sat there patiently for 6 minutes. And this is not the first time I've seen this happen. I have actually sent you an email myself when you were up in Canada indicating people were running all overtime. So
I did receive that email. I will grant you 4 minutes this evening. Can we make it in 4 minutes?
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and City Council of Laurel. My name is Georgina Eiffel, and I have resided at 8231 North Lake Court for the past 21 years. I am here tonight before this body to once again state that I stand with DPW. The agreement put forth this evening for approval before the City of Laurel and UFCW Local 1994 has been in the making for some time. Although I am glad to have it come to fruition, I must continue to state my dissatisfaction with the city's unwillingness to negotiate a wage increase for our DPW workers. In March of this year, I did my own research on the wages paid to our DPW using information available to the public on sites such as govsalaries.com. There I learned that we had DPW employees in 2021 whom wages were as high as 55% lower than the national average and 52% lower than the median salary in the city of Laurel. I mentioned this during my time with the mayor meeting, at which my statements were not disparaged or challenged to be untruthful from the city's administration. There was only a counter statement that in addition to wages, the city does offer a good benefits package. As late as our last public hearing, our mayor has stated, we felt that 5% pay raise was best we could do at the time to protect the interests of the city. So let's speak factually and truthfully about that 5%. It is a 2.5% cost of living raise and a 2.5% step increase. The 2.5% cost of living is a guarantee, even though the Bureau of Labor Statistics has a national inflation rate at 3.5% compared to the previous year. Maryland increased 1% in the 2 months ending in April 2024. The 2.5% step increase is not a guarantee. It is conditional on the workers' performance and where they are within their position's pay range. Workers at the max for their pay range do not receive a step increase. Every time I hear someone say they get paid enough or they need to learn to budget their money better, I start to think of the following. If the 2.5 cost of living is currently and will remain under the inflation rate nationally and in the state of Maryland if the current trend continues for the next 3 years. DPW unionized workers would have received the 2.5% increase even if they had not joined the union. In all actuality, unionized workers' take-home pay will now be less than the non-unionized workers because of union dues. Knowing this, I'm wondering, why are they still wanting to join the union? Is it job security, safety regulations, protection? According to our own city's operating budget and CIP plans, aside from supervisors, in 2019, there were 8 DPW workers servicing 4 residential collection routes and 1 commercial route for 6,314 residences. Guess what? In 2023, there were still those same 8 DPW workers, but now they were servicing 6,650 residences. Our fiscal year budget for FY 2025 that we just approved last meeting is still just citing 8 DPW workers for collection. And you know who these 8 are? They're 3 equipment operators and 5 laborers. So we've increased residences here in Laurel, but we haven't increased the workers. One can only begin to imagine what would happen if the Pulte corridor approval was obtained, adding 302 more residents. As reported in our fiscal year 2025 plan, there were 99 missed collections in 2023, compared to 54 in 2020, 48 in 2021, and 38 in 2022. I know for myself, DPW used to collect my garbage twice a week. They now only do it once a week. So I must ask, is there any correlation between all these reports of rodents running through Laurel Laurel connection, Maryland connection? Have we keeping our garbage out longer, causing a rodent problem? Also, a lot of residents here in the city of Laurel was very upset. There were no flags hanging on Memorial Day. Well, guess who hanged those flags? DPW. So their last day of work before that Memorial Day, they had to decide, we gonna pick up garbage or we gonna hang these flags. Guess what they chose to do? They picked up garbage. Those flags were not
Ms.
hung.
Ifill,
Okay,
I
but
noticed you're at the bottom of your page. Are you almost finished?
yes, I am.
I actually gave you 5 minutes
Yep,
this evening.
I appreciate it. Lastly, to my knowledge, we have lost 2 DPW workers since February of this year. Is that where we're offering going to be a competitive advantage in the public works job market? I just keep wondering to myself, that old saying, what you get, you pay for. And that just keeps ringing in my head. But
you,
I
Ms.
stand
Ifill.
with DPW.
Thank you very much. The next speaker signed up for Resolution 3-2024 is Mr. Martin Mitchell.
Greetings, everyone. Of course, as she said, I stand with DPW. Today is a historic moment for the workers in the entire city of Laurel. The last council and mayor granted the Department of Public Works collective bargaining rights, which was not an easy feat. We became the 15th city in Maryland to grant public workers collective bargaining rights. Even though the current contract to be approved isn't a big win, we should look at it as hopeful progress in terms of economic consideration for the workers, but also they're doing it for the protection of the union, to prevent workplace abuses, job security, and so much more, to make sure that the workers have a voice. I want to thank all of the residents, business owners, and community stakeholders that have been supportive in getting collective bargaining rights until now, approving the contract. The Laurel community loves the Department of Public Works. I want to give a big shout out to Lloyd Holloway, who is no longer with the city, but he led the charge for the workers and was a union rep before he left. I also want to give a shout out to Laurel, who's no longer with the city, but he was one of the city workers, of course, fighting, to help get them collective bargaining rights. And so many more workers that, have left the city and that are still there. I want to give them a shout out. And every public worker for the courage to fight for their right to join a union and improve their working conditions or pay. Because as I say, it was not easy, no matter what you were told. As we heard, we talked about the developments. I'm just very curious on what is the contingency plan, for growth when it comes to, employing the DPW workers. Of course, Pulte is just, one development we have, but we know that there's several developments that are going to finish building homes. And I know when I talk to, the workers on the street, some of them are barely finishing their routes. I know it was culture, some years ago that after they finished their shift, they were able to leave. But the previous mayor instated where they couldn't leave until 4 p.m. Whether, they finish their route, they'll just go back and, do other work. And so, as we look at, the contingency for growth, I'm just wondering, what is our plan for really hiring workers? Of course, we know that, composting is going to be mandatory come 2025. And I know that's not going to be just, hard on the workers, but, even for the environmental sustainability department. And so, I'm just wondering if there is a contingency plan, if there is, are we planning for that growth as a city? And, today when we talk about, the workers' raises and wages, I just want to say that we understand that it's very difficult to make a living nowadays. We understand that, inflation is high. We understand that the cost of milk and eggs are crazy high. And so, I just want to make sure that we're making those same consideration when it comes towards the hard workers, not just, DPW, but all the city employees, because those are the people who make the city run. I can say, personally being, a council person, that the city workers are the ones that make the city run. And so, of course, I think that we should make those considerations if we could pay them a little bit extra. And, I hope that moving forward, there will be a less contentious, less political relationship, because at the end of the day, these workers are just trying to make sure that they can feed their families, make sure that they, are living a better life. And then I know that you guys, want the best for the city. And we want, of course, a lower turnover rate. And I think, of course, paying them more is definitely going to help with that turnover rate. But not only that, the morale. And so, I continue to stand with DPW and, thank the, council for approving this contract. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mitchell. There is no one else currently signed up to speak on resolution number 3-2024. Is there anyone else wishing to speak on the DPW resolution? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing at 6:54 p.m. Are there any additional questions or comments from the council on resolution number 3-2024? This is a resolution, and generally resolutions require 2 public hearings. Because we are not having a meeting later this month and the union representatives are here, I would entertain a motion from the council to suspend the rules to allow us to pass the resolution this evening.
Mr. President, I move that we suspended the rules.
A second. And a second?
Councilwoman Clerk,
Yes.
Councilman Mills,
Yes.
Councilwoman Johnson,
Yes.
President Kole.
Yes.
Motion carries.
The rules are now suspended. I will entertain a motion to approve resolution 3-2024.
Mr. President, I move that we approve resolution, my apologies. I move that we approve resolution number 3-2024 for the purpose of approving an agreement between the City of Laurel and the United Food and Commercial Workers, Local 1994.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Mr. Moore.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Clerk,
Yes.
Councilman Mills,
Yes.
Councilwoman Johnson,
Yes.
President Kole,
Yes.
Mayor Sydnor.
I concur.
Motion carries.
After tonight's meeting, we will have a signing down here in the front on the table. There is no further business on the agenda this evening. You would like to say something?
Yes,
Go ahead.
thank you. First of all, I want to thank the administration, UFCW, for negotiating this contract. There was a lot of things said tonight, and I'm not going to go back over all those things, but I want to say, first off, with the Boys and Girls Club, Mr. Russo, we are working on your requests. I met with my staff last week. We get some information together, and so we'll be sending you an email scheduling the meeting, but we can talk about those things. We can resolve those things. Like I said before, I'm not going to go over everything that was said. There was a lot of things that wasn't true, but we know we can't control what people say when they come up here into these mics and speak for their 5 minutes or 3 minutes. We do know a contract was negotiated between the City of Laurel and the UFCW, and the contract was taken back down to the workers, and the workers ratified that contract. And so that's how it is in America. When you negotiate things and the union ratify the contract, the workers ratify that contract, and that's what we're here tonight. So I'm looking forward to a relationship that we can continue to work together. Our job is to protect the interests of the city and also protect the workers of the city as well. The city is no way trying to harm the DPW workers. We'd never do anything like that. That's not our motto. We never do that. So I just want to move forward. Mr. President, are you here today? I just wanted to say let's continue to work together. Any disputes that you have, Mr. President, you and I can talk one-on-one all the time. My door is open to you, Mr. President, anytime you want to talk about anything. And so I just wish the citizens just give us some air. Let us do our job. And once again, we are going to protect the interests of the city and the workers. So looking forward to a long relationship with UFCW after we sign this contract tonight. I just hopefully that, we can just continue to work together. If not, then you just come every 3 minutes and the contract will be in effect until 2027. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The meeting on June 24th is canceled due to the summer conference at the Maryland Municipal League. The next meeting of the mayor and council will be here in the council chambers on July 1st for the interviews for the council vacancy. With no further business before the mayor and city council, this meeting is adjourned.